Hello everyone and welcome back. So today we are going to be building beautiful apps, and I call this crypto update because this is basically crypto website. And as you can see here, we have the trending, which is 7 different crypto here. Just the first is optimism, etc. Okay, and here we have markets, and we have the first time is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and etc. We have a lot of data here. All right, and as you can see here in the market, we have the value in US dollar, and also the condition of the price right now is down. We have red color here. If the price is up, we have this green color. Okay, we also have the market gap here. Okay, of course Bitcoin will be the top one. All right, and we can also click this Bitcoin to see the detail, and as you can see here, we have the beautiful graph. All right, it's really nice. I can go back here and click another one. Let's say Cardano. I can click that, and we have the beautiful card as well, and also the description here. All right, so that's what we're going to be building. And what technology what we're going to use is we're going to use Vite to generate a React application, and for the styling here we are going to use Tailwind CSS. All right, and for the API I grabbed from the Coingecko here. Okay, it's pretty nice. We don't need to have like key or something. This is a public, all right, so we can use that without register. And also for the grab here, the chart, all right, I'm using the React chart JS2 okay package. It's really cool here, and I'm going to showing you how to use that. And also for the this route, okay, this /coin/Bitcoin, I'm using React Router DOM version 6. Okay, so yeah, that's what we are gonna be building, guys. Hope you learned a lot of things in this video, and yeah, let's get started. All right, so the first thing is let's generate a React application. I'm gonna use Vite, and it's pretty simple. You can just copy this comment here and paste that in here or any folder you want, and hit enter, and it should be generate a React application for us. And let's see, the project name, it should be, I'm gonna say I call this crypto update. All right, and I'm gonna use React, and yeah, just React, and I'm going to cd into the crypto update. Okay, and let's open into the Visual Studio Code, and I can say code dot like that, and here we go. Okay, so in here I'm going to install the dependency, right, the node modules. So let's say yarn here, and it's going to be install all the modules for us. All right, so it's done. I'm going to make it this little bigger. So let's go to font size here. I'm going to set it to 16, not 6 but 18, and yeah, it's more clean. I'm going to say yarn dev to start the development server, and now we should see this thing here, and we have Vite plus React. Okay, cool. So now what we need to do is let's remove this asset here. We don't need that. And also I'm going to remove the app CSS. I'm going to remove all this style into the index CSS, and let's go to app.jsx, and I'm going to remove all this div inside the class name app here. Let's just put h1 and then say app here. Okay, let's remove the state. All right, so it's clean now, and remove the CSS, and now we should see app here. Okay, so now we need to install and set up Tailwind in this project here. So let's go to tailwindcss.com and go to documentation here, and framework guides, and this Vite. Okay, and first we need to install this, not this, we have already installed Vite. All right, we need to install this Tailwind CSS, post CSS, and auto prefixer. So let's just click this copy here, and I'm going to open another terminal, and let's paste that in here and hit enter. All right, so it's done. So let's go to the Tailwind config.js here. We are going to copy this content, and let's go to the Tailwind config here, and we are going to paste that in here. Okay, so next we need to copy this CSS and put into the index CSS here. All right, And what else? I think we're done. So let's try. I'm going to close this, make it small, and let's go to app.js here. And in here, I'm going to add class name. Let's say text center. Okay. So let's see what we have here. The text is not in the center, something wrong. So let's say yarn dev again to restart the server. And here we go. We have the app in the center here. Okay. That's mean Tailwind now it's installed in this project here. Okay, cool. If you want to track your code with Git, we can initialize Git here because Vite is not come with Git. So now we need to say Git init to initialize Git in this project. So we have, okay, as you can see here. So now what we need to do is I'm going to say Git add all and Git commit -m, let's say initial commit. Okay. All right. So let's run the server again, npm run dev. Okay. So now what we need to do is I'm going to install and set up React Router. Okay. So first we need to install the React Router DOM version 6 here. So let's just copy the name of the package and we need to install that here. So let's say yarn add React Router DOM 6 here. Okay. All right, so it's done. Let's close this. And now what we need to do is go to app.jsx here. And in here, what we need to do is let's go here. Okay, first we need to import browser router, routes, and route. Okay, so let's go here and I'm going to wrap our app here with browser router. So let's say browser router. Okay, it's going to be import automatically up here. So let's close the tag here, browser router, and also we need to have routes. Okay, so let's do here. Let's say routes. Okay, it's come from React Router DOM as well. So here, let's make it like this, and also inside the routes we have the route, individual route. All right. So here I'm gonna say route. Okay, self-closing here, and I'm going to add the path here. Let's say path. It's going to be, it's not automatically import, but here we go. And the path is going to be /. This is for the home page, and also for the detail, I'm gonna say /coin/id here. Okay. And the component that we are going to render here is, let's create that here. I'm going to create pages folder. And inside these pages, I'm going to create file called, let's say crypto home, okay, .jsx, and let's generate RIFCE here, and I'm going to create another file inside the pages, let's say crypto detail.jsx. All right, so let's say RIFCE, and now we can use these two components inside the route here. Okay, so let's put element set that equals to, and we put the crypto home, and also for the detail here, let's say element set equals to, this is going to be crypto detail. Okay, so we don't have the auto import here, I don't know why, so let's import manually. I'm going to make it bigger. So here I'm gonna say import, let's say crypto home. Okay, it's gonna become from pages with pages / crypto home, and also we need to import the crypto detail as well. So let's say crypto detail, and also the file is going to be crypto detail. Okay, so if I save this and let's take a look right here, we should see crypto home because we on the /. Route here. Okay, if I go to /coin/id, okay, just say random something here, we on the crypto detail right now. All right, cool, it's working. So let's go back to crypto home, and now we need to create the navbar component. So if you want to put component that available to entire your road, you need to put outside the road here. Okay, so I'm gonna do here, maybe let's say navbar. So this navbar will be available to home and detail. Let's say navbar here. Okay, you see that. And also if I go to coin/random here, we still see navbar here. Okay, because navbar will be available to entire your road. Okay, so instead of just navbar text here, we need to create the component. All right, so I'm going to create folder called components folder, and in here I'm gonna say navbar.jsx, of course, and let's generate RFCE. So let's styling this navbar here. I'm going to remove the React up there, and in here what I'm gonna do is let's add the class name here. So let's say class name set equals to the background. I'm gonna set that to gray, let's say 800. Okay, and also the text I'm gonna set that to white, and also the height, let's say 14, and the display is going to be flex, and also the items I'm going to set that to center. Okay, so inside this div here I have another div that will be wrap the it's like a container, right? It's like a come from here and then here. Okay, so let's put the div, and I'm going to add class name set equals to, instead of putting the class name here, I'm going to create, it's like a variable, so we can use the class name to maybe in the navbar and also into the home section here. Okay, so we need to go to index.css here. So in here we can say layer, okay, and also components, and should be object, and inside in here we are going to create the class. So in this case I'm going to give a name wrapper container. You can give any name you want, and also here I'm going to apply, and I'm going to say maximal width into, let's say, I don't know, let's say 7XL, and also the MX I want to set it to auto to make it in the center, and also the padding X, let's say 2. Okay, so now we can use this wrapper container to entire our app. Okay, so let's go back here and we can use like so. Okay, so inside in here I'm going to let's say navbar first for now, and so you can see what I mean. And in here I'm going to say background red, let's say 400, so you can see. And if I refresh, nothing happened because we don't yet import the navbar into this app here. So let's say navbar. Okay, cool. As you can see, that's what I mean. Okay, and the width of the wrapper, it should be 100%. So let's go back to here. So let's set the width into full. Here we go. But I don't know why the maximal width is not 7XL. So let's go back to index.css, maximal width 7XL. Something wrong here. So I think the problem is in the browser, because I'm zoom in the browser. So let's zoom out like that. So as you can see, we have the 7XL here, the maximal width. Okay, so let's change that to maybe 5XL. Okay, like that. Okay, nice. So let's remove the background red here. We don't need that. All right, so inside in here I'm going to add another div as well. So let's say div. Okay, this div is basically the logo and the text. So here I'm going to add class name set equals to I'm gonna set the display to flex, and also the items, let's say center, and also the gap between the text and the icon should be 1, and also the cursor I want to set that to, let's say, pointer. Okay, so in here I'm going to put the icon. So I'm going to grab the icon from hero icons, and in here I'm going to search for, let's say, dollar icon. Okay, this one here, currency dollar. I'm going to copy the JSX, and I'm going to create another folder. So let's say folder, let's say icons, and in these icons here I'm going to create a file called icon.jsx. Okay, so in here I'm going to export the variable. Let's give a name logo icon, so that equals to arrow function here. And in here, I'm going to paste the SVG here. So let's save. And now we can use the logo here. So let's say a logo icon like so. If I save and let's take a look. And here we go. We have this beautiful logo. And also after the logo, we have the text, right? So down here, let's put the text. So let's put inside the paragraph text, and I'm going to give a let's say span here, because I'm going to change the color inside the span. Let's say C in this span. And also here I'm going to say crypto. And also I'm going to put the span as well in here. So let's say span. Okay, so let's remove the space in here. So the U, it should be inside the span, and let's say update. Okay, so now if I save and let's take a look, this is what we have. And I'm going to change the color of the span here. So let's say class name, text, yellow, let's say 500. Okay, and also in the span here, we also need to put the class. Let's say class name. Wait, what happened? Oh yeah, we need to put that in here, right? Let's say class name set equals to text yellow 500 as well. So here we go. All right, so let's make it easy to read, something like that. And also in this paragraph here, I'm going to add class name. Let's say font to semi-bold. I save, and here we go. And also I'm going to change the SVG color. So I'm going to copy the color here, and let's go to icon. And in the class name right here, I'm going to put the text yellow. So now here we go. Nice. All right. So now let's working with the crypto home component. So let's go to pages and then crypto home. And in here, I'm going to render two components. The first thing is trending and then markets. Okay, so let's first create the trending component inside the components folder. So I'm going to do trending.jsx. Okay, so in here, let's say functional base component, and I'm going to render the trending here. So let's say trending like so. We should see trending like so. And we need to also add the class name in here. So let's say class name, and I'm going to use wrapper container class. Okay, so here we go. So now let's close this crypto home, this icon, navbar, and also the Tailwind. So in this trending here, I'm going to add the margin top first. Let's say margin top to 8. And also inside this div here, I'm going to add h1. So let's say trending. Okay, so let's add the class name. The class name should be text to XL. And also the margin bottom, let's say 2. All right. Here we go. We have trending. So now we are going to fetch the data from the API. And the API that I'm going to use is, let's scroll down. I believe that's trending, this one here. Okay. So let's try out and execute. This is the response that we have. All right. So basically this is the URL. Okay. So we can just copy that. And first, I'm going to create the folder called hooks. So let's do inside the source hooks, and inside these hooks, I'm going to create a file called useaxios.jsx. Okay. So first, we need to install the Axios. So we can say yarn add Axios. Okay. All right, that's done. So here, let's say rafce, and I'm going to remove this React, and in here I'm going to create state. So first, let's say response. Okay, and set equals to use state. By default it should be null, right? And also I'm going to create loading. So const loading and set loading, set equals to use state. By default it's going to be false. And also the error. So let's say const error and set error, set equals to use state. By default, let's say empty string. All right, so in here I'm going to create a function called, let's say, fetch data, set equals to, should be async function. So let's say async and then arrow function here. And in here I want to use try and catch. So let's say try down here, let's say the catch. Okay, we grab the error, and then I'm gonna put the error into the set error state here. So let's put in here, and also down here I grab the finally, and then I'm going to set the loading back to let's say false here. Okay, after we try fetch the data, we finally set the loading back to false. In try here, I'm going to create the variable called, let's say, result. Okay, set equals to, I'm going to await for Axios, and then I'm gonna put the params here. The param is gonna become from the props here. Okay, and we are going to run this fetch data into the use effect. Okay, because I need to, when I call this useAxios in this component here, I need to this use effect running. Okay, so I'm going to put empty array, and I'm going to run the fetch data here and send the param. Okay, cool. So now what we need to do is let's put the result here into the response state. So here I'm gonna say set response into result, say result dot data. Okay, but first up here I'm going to set loading to true. Okay, and of course we need to grab this param into this function here. So let's put in here, and yeah, we need to return the state, and let's say response set equals to response, loading set equals to loading, and error. Okay, so now I'm going to set the base URL. So let's say axios dot default dot let's say base URLs. Okay, set equals to it should be, let's go to the API documentation, and we are going to use the, let's see, the trending here, and let's try out execute, and I'm going to grab this URL here. Okay, so let's copy and paste that in here. We need to use a string like that. Okay, cool. So now we can use this useAxios into the trending. Okay, so in here let's try, I'm gonna say cons, I grab the response. Okay, and set equals to useAxios. Okay, remember the useAxios is going to become from the hooks and then useAxios. So in here I'm gonna put the URL, just the trending here. So let's copy the search slash trending, and I'm going to put the string in here. Okay, just like that. So now if I console log the response, we should get the response from the API. So let's save and let's take a look here. I'm going to inspect and go to console. As you can see, guys, we have this object here and this coin. We have 7 different coin. As you can see, the first is green. Okay, and then we have fmos and etc. Okay, nice. So now let's go back to the trending component, and in here I'm going to, let's map through this response. So let's say if we have the response, I want to map to the response. So we need to access the response dot coins, right? So response dot coins dot map, and I'm going to grab the individual coin, and in here I'm going to return another component. So let's first create the component, and I'm gonna call the component, let's say coin trending. Okay, .jsx. So let's say rrfce, and just remove the React up here. And now we need to map through the, we need to call this coin trending into this map here. So let's say coin trending. Okay, so in here we need to send the key so we don't get any error in the console. So let's say key set equals to, I'm gonna grab the ID, which is the coin ID here. Okay, so let's say coin dot item, I believe. Yeah, the items. Let's say item. Wait. Let's say item. And then the coin underscore key underscore ID. And also we need to send the coin set equals to coin. Okay, so now we can grab the coin in this coin trending. So let's destructuring the coin. Let's say coin, and then I can console log the coin here. So let's say coin for individual coin. So now if I refresh, as you can see, we have the individual coin here. Okay, so we can also say like coin.items like that, and here we go. Okay, cool. So now let's remove this response and go to coin trending, and we are going to styling the coin trending here. So in here I'm going to use a React fragment. So let's say React fragment, and then inside this React fragment I'm going to create a div. Okay, so this div here have a class name, and I'm going to say the font is going to be like, and also the margin bottom I'm going to put 2, and also the padding, let's say 2, and also border, let's say gray 200. Okay, and I'm going to put the border, let's say 2, okay, which is border width 2 pixel, and I'm going to say rounded. And also if I hover the div here, I need to, the background is changed, the background color. So let's say background gray 200. All right, so now let's save, and here we need to for now let's say coin.name, I think, so you can see the result in the browser. And here we go, guys, really cool. All right, okay, so nice. Let's styling this a little bit. I'm gonna remove the coin name here, and I'm gonna put div. Okay, so in this div I'm going to add class name, so this is gonna be display flex. The item I'm gonna put center, and also the gap I'm gonna set that to 1. Okay, so down here I'm gonna put the span, so let's say span, and then in here I'm gonna say coin dot let's say score, I think. So let's save and let's see. To start from 0 we need to start from 1, so let's say score plus 1. Okay, and we need to add dot here. So here we go, nice. So now let's put the image. So in the span I'm gonna add image. Okay, the source is going to be let's say coin dot small. Okay, here we go, nice. And also I'm gonna add the let's put the name into the alt, this name here. Let's say coin dot name. Okay, and also down here we need to put the name, so let's say p tag, and in here I'm gonna say coin dot name, and also the symbol of the coin I need to use small, and in here I'm gonna put the coin dot symbol. Okay, so let's do like so. I'm gonna say coin dot symbol. All right, here we go, nice. So let's styling this a little bit. I'm gonna go with the span first. So in this span I'm going to add the class name, so let's say font, let's say semi bold. Okay, and also in this image I'm going to add class name, and I'm going to set the width into, let's say 6, and also for the span I'm going to make it small, so let's say class name let's say text to extra small, XS. So if I save, and here we go. Okay, that's what we have. So next let's create the markets down here. All right, so first let's remove this console, and then I'm going to close everything, make it clean. And in this component here I'm going to create another component. Let's call this markets. Okay, markets.jsx, and here I'm gonna say rifce, and I'm going to import this market into the pages and crypto home down here. Okay, so let's say markets like that. So we should see markets, nice. Let's go to markets here, and what we need to do, let's remove this div. I'm going to use section, so let's use section, and in this section here I'm going to add class name. So the class name should be margin top to, let's say, 8. Okay, so in this section I'm going to put h1 and let's say markets, and also let's add some class name. Let's say class name text, it should be 2xl, and also margin bottom 2. All right, so now save and let's take a look. Here we go. So now let's go to the the Coingecko API here. Okay, so I believe it should be markets here. Okay, let's try it out, and I'm gonna use USD, and yeah, let's execute and let's see what we have. And here we go, just the response. All right, and let's copy the URL here, start from coin. Okay, let's copy, and here we are going to call the useAxios. Let's say cons, we grab the response, okay, and then set equals to useAxios. Axios, wait, oh really, Axios, and I'm going to put the string here. Okay, the coin market, the currency USD, etc. Okay, so now if I console log the response, we should see the result in the console. All right, so if I save and let's take a look into the project here, inspect and see in the console. Here we go. Okay, we have no, and then we have 100 value in this array. Okay, a lot of value here, and yeah, this is what we have. All right, so now let's showing this value into the page. So let's go to market components, and in here I'm going to map through the response. So let's say response. If we have response, I need to say response.map. okay, and I'm gonna grab the individual coin, and then in here I'm going to render another component. So I'm gonna call this coin.jsx. okay, all right, so let's say rfce, and let's save, let's go back, and in here I'm going to render the coin. Okay, so let's send the key set equals to, let's say, coin.id, and also the coin set equals to coin. Okay, so now we should see a lot of coin here, 100 coin. So let's go to coin component, and I'm gonna grab the coin props. Okay, so let's console log that. There we go. We should see a lot of value here. Okay, nice. So let's styling this coin component. Let's remove this div, and I'm going to use React fragment, and inside this React fragment I have div. So basically I'm going to create a display grid in here, because I'm going to create 3 column in the small size, and then 4 column into medium and more. So in here I'm going to put a display grid, and then the grid column should be 3, okay, in small devices, and in medium and more I'm going to add the grid, say grid columns, let's say 4, okay, and also the font I'm gonna set that to light, the padding let's say 2, and also it's gonna be rounded, and also the border let's say gray 200, okay, and I'm gonna say the border, just the border bottom, and also the hover, when I hover I need to change the background to gray, let's say 200. Okay, so inside this div I'm going to put first is going to be the image and the name of the coin. So I'm gonna put the image and the name of the coin inside this div here. Okay, so inside in here I'm gonna put the image. Okay, so the alt is going to be, the source is going to be, let's say coin dot image. Okay, and also the alt is going to be let's say coin dot name. All right, so if I save, you should see a lot of icon here. Okay, nice. And I'm going to put the, let's say, p tag here, and I'm gonna render the coin.name. All right, you should see the name here, and we need to put the two value here, two tag here, which is image and p inside the display flags. So let's say class and display flags, and I'm gonna say items to center, item to center. Okay, and also the gap, I'm gonna say 1, and also the width, let's say full. Okay, so if I save, and here we go. It should be items, I think. Here we go. Nice. So now let's make it small, the image. Class name width to let's say 6. Here we go. Nicely. All right. So now let's add another column here, and the second column should be the price. So I'm going to use span tag here, and I'm going to render the, let's say, coin dot current underscore price. So now I'm going to create a function to handle the currency format. So let's go to source here, and I'm going to create file called untils, okay, .jsx, and in here I'm going to paste my function currency format here. Okay, so this function I'm going to use inside here. Okay, so let's put and wrap this coin.current price inside the currency format, and also we need to import that. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, this is what I want. Okay, we have the dollar symbol and then the currency format here. Nice. All right, so let's styling that a little bit. In the span here, I'm going to add class name set equals to the width. I'm going to set that to full, and also the text, I'm going to set that to center. Okay, nice. I think I forget the symbol of the coin here, like the trending here. So let's go back to this div, and in here I'm gonna put span tag, and then I'm gonna say, let's say coin dot symbol here. Okay, so let's save and let's take a look. Here we go. Okay, we have the symbol of the Bitcoin, which is BTC. So now we need to styling that a little bit. Class name text is gonna be extra small. Okay, nice. So now I'm going to render the price change percentage 24-hour. Okay, so let's create another span down here. So let's say span, and I'm gonna render the coin dot price change percent 24-hour. Okay, nice. And in here I'm going to add the condition. So class name set equals to, here I'm going to use a backtick, and I'm going to say the display should be flags, and I'm going to say gap 1, and then in here I'm going to let's say coin, okay, dot a price change percent 24-hour. If the value is less than 0, okay, I'm going to add a class name called text red, let's say 400. Okay, and else, let's do else here. I'm going to add a green color. So let's say text green, say green, and then the value, let's say 400. Okay, green should be like so. Okay, nice. So now let's see, okay, if the value is positive, I need to have a green color. Okay, nice. So now I need to render the icon. Okay, so let's grab the icon, come from here. I forget the name. Let's looking for this one here. Okay, trending. Let's search for trending. So let's do insert here. Let's say trending. Okay, trending down and trending up. So let's first copy the JSX, and let's go to icons, and in here I'm going to export. Okay, cons, and first I'm going to create the trending down. So let's say trending down, set equals to arrow function here, and I'm gonna render the SVG, and also I'm gonna create the let's say cons trending up. Okay, set equals to arrow function, and the SVG should be this one. Paste that in here. Okay, nice. So now we can use that. So let's go to where is that? This one here. Okay, so down here, let's say if the coin dot, let's say price change percent 24-hour is less than to 0. Okay, I need to render the trending down. So let's say trending down. Okay, but else I need to render the trending up like that. So now if I save something wrong here, we need to add question mark here like that. So let's go back to the project, and as you can see guys, if the value is negative, I need to add this trending down, and positive, I need to add this trending up. Okay, nice, cool. So now let's put the market cap. I'm gonna use div here. Okay, so in the mobile device, I need to hide this column here. So I want to put hidden, and then in the small and more, I need to add the block. Okay, the display should be block, and also inside in here, I want to put p tag, and also let's say market cap. So inside this p, I want to add class name. So the font, let's say semi bold. Okay, and down here, I'm gonna put the value. So let's say span, and then here I'm gonna use currency format. Let's say currency format, and I'm gonna put the coin dot market underscore cap. All right, so now let's take a look what we have. Okay, so nice. So let's try open in small device. So I'm going to make it small, and as you can see, wait, something wrong here. The market cap is still showing here. So I think our problem is on the parent here, in the grid here. Okay, we should put a small here, not medium. So let's say small. Okay, so in small, I need to have 4 column like that. Okay, as you can see, it's clean. All right, really cool. Okay, nice. So yeah, what we need to do next is let's working with the detail. So first, I'm going to handle the click here. If I click the individual icon, I need to, the road is going to be go to the detail of the page. All right, so here I'm going to use link. So let's say a link. This link is going to become from React Router DOM. So let's put down here as well, link. So in here, I'm going to say 2. Okay. Wait, what is that? 2, and then in here I'm going to use backtick, and let's put slash coin slash, let's put the coin ID. So let's say coin.id. Okay, so we need to also copy this, and let's go to the coin trending, and in here we need to also use link. All right, so let's put link, and let's put the 2. Okay, 2 coin.id. Okay, so let's try. I'm gonna refresh here, and let's click this. Should be go to grid. Okay, cool. If I go to fmos, should be coin/fmos. Okay, if I go to bitcoin, should be coin/bitcoin. Okay, it's working. So now let's styling the detail. So let's go to crypto detail pages, crypto detail. Let's close everything here, make it clean. Crypto detail, and basically here I'm going to render 2 components. First is the history chart, and the second is the coin detail. So let's first create the component. So I'm going to do history chart, okay, .jsx. So let's say RFCE, and also I want to create the, so let's say CoinDetail, CoinDetail.jsx. Okay, so RFCE as well. So now let's bring in these 2 components in right here. Okay, so let's say history chart, and also down here I'm gonna render the coin detail. Okay, so now we should see the history chart and the coin detail. So now we need to wrap this div with a wrapper container. Here we go. Nice. And let's add the margin top to, let's say 10, margin top 10. Okay, we have the space here. Nice. So first I'm going to working with the coin detail. So let's go to coin detail component. So in here I'm going to fetch the data from the API, and I'm going to use the, let's refresh this first. I'm going to use the market/id, I think. So let's see, still loading here. This one here, okay, coin/id. That's I'm going to use. So for example, let's try it out, and I'm going to say Bitcoin. Okay, let's set the location to false, and the tickets false, the market data false, community data I'm going to set that to false, developer let's say true, and then spark client I'm going to say false. Okay, so let's execute, because I just want to showing the name of the coin and the description and the image, this one. Okay, so I'm going to use this, so let's just copy. Okay, start from coin here, let's copy, and I'm going to use that in here. So let's say cons, I want to grab the response set equals to, wait, set equals to, it's gonna be useAxios. I don't get the auto import, I don't know why, but I'm gonna use backtick here. So first I'm going to import the useAxios first. So let's say import useAxios from /hooks / useAxios. Okay, so let's try to console log the response so we can see what we have. So let's go back to the project here and inspect the console, and as you can see we get this object here. Okay, we have this information, the name, where's the name, the name, the images, and the description. Okay, nice. So we need to showing the coin depend on the params that we get in here. Okay, so we can use param. So let's say cons, I'm gonna grab the ID, because remember in app here we're using ID, right? So we can grab the ID. If you're using like name, you should put name here like that. Okay, so set equals to use params. Okay, and it should be cons, not kins, cons. And now we can put the ID into this string here. So let's put ID like so. Wait, something wrong. Here we go. So now we get the Bitcoin here, right? Nice. If I open another, let's say another coin, let's say Ethereum, we should see Ethereum. Okay, this one. Pretty cool. Nice. So now what we need to do is let's add a simple loading here. So if the response is null, I want to return to say div, and then let's say loading here. So let's say loading ... Okay, so in this CoinDetail I'm going to remove the text, and in here I'm going to add the class name. So let's say class name, and I want to say margin vertically to 6, and also inside this div I'm going to put div. Okay, so here I'm going to add class name. So I want to say flex gap 2, and also the items should be in the center. Okay, so this div here is basically the image and the name of the coin. So let's say image, and then in the source I'm going to say, let's say coin, not coin but response dot image. I want to grab the small like that. So alt here I'm going to grab the name of the coin. Let's say response dot name. So down here, I'm going to use h1. So let's say h1, and then I'm going to render the name of the coin. So let's say response and then name. Okay. So let's styling the h1 this. So let's say class name set equals to text. It should be 2xl, and the margin bottom I'm going to set it to 2, and I'm going to use capitalize, and also the font, let's say bold. Okay. So now save, and let's take a look in the browser. We should see this Ethereum. Nice, all right. And if I go back and click the Bitcoin, we have this Bitcoin. Really cool. So now that's showing the description here. But as you can see, this description is basically a HTML tag. As you can see, we have anchor tag here. So if I just put the paragraph like maybe P, and then I'm going to render the maybe let's say response dot description, and then description, and then I grab the en. Okay, as you can see, it's not really good. As you can see, we have the anchor tag here, etc. So what we need to do is here I'm going to, yeah, I think we can put the paragraph outside the div here. Okay, but as you can see, we have the HTML tag here. So to fix this, we are gonna use let's say, let's just copy this first. Okay, so in this p tag, I'm going to add the dangerously inner HTML. So dangerously inner HTML, and in here I'm gonna say underscore underscore HTML, and then I'm gonna put the response.description.en here. Okay, so if I save now, as you can see, the HTML tag is gone. We just have it's like a result of the HTML, right? It's just a text here. But if I inspect the element, it should be of course this is a HTML tag. As you can see, we have the anchor tag as well in here, so we can click the here. Okay, we can also change the color of the anchor tag here. So let's try. In p tag here, I'm going to add class name set equals to the margin top. I'm going to set that to 6. The text, let's say gray 500, and I'm going to grab all of the, let's say all of the anchor tag inside this p, and I'm going to change the color. So let's say text blue, and I'm going to say 600 with blue and then 600. Okay, let's grab that again, and I'm gonna grab the anchor tag, and also here I'm gonna say underline. Okay, so now all the anchor tag inside the p tag here, it should be have a color blue, as you can see here. Okay, nicely, right? So I think we're done with this CoinDetail. So now let's working with the chart here. Okay, so in here I'm going to, let's say cons, grab the response. Okay, response, and then here I'm gonna say useAxios, and basically what I'm gonna use is, let's go back to API documentation, and let's go to the market chart here. Okay, so let's try it out. And for example, the ID, let's say Bitcoin, and the currency, I'm gonna use US dollar, and days I'm gonna use 7. So let's say 7, and then yeah, that's it. So let's execute, and yeah, this is what we have. Okay, this is the result. So the first value of this array is basically the x-axis, and the second value is y-axis. Okay, so let's just copy this URL, and I'm gonna put it here like that. So, and also we are gonna change the value of this Bitcoin with the ID come from the params. So let's say cons, we grab the ID. Okay, and also let's say set equals to use params, and I'm gonna put the ID into this Bitcoin here. So let's say ID here. So of course we need to change this with backtick like that. Nice. So now let's console log the response. Just make sure we have the result. So let's go to project here, and I'm gonna inspect, see in the console, and here we go. We have the object here and the price. Okay, this is what we are gonna use. So first, let's check if we don't have the response. I need to return loading. So let's see here, if the response is null, I want to return, let's say text with a loading first. So let's say loading ... All right, so in here I'm going to create variable, let's say coin chart data, okay, set equals to, and I'm gonna say response. I grab the price, okay, price, this one here, and then in here I'm going to map through the price, and then in here I grab the value, and then here I'm going to create new object inside this coin chart data array. So here I want to say x, okay, so x is basically value 0, okay, we access the value and index 0, and for the y I'm going to access the value with y, I'm going to access the value 0, and I'm going to say to fix, okay, 2, like that. So now let's try to see what we have. So I'm gonna console log the coin chart data, okay, something wrong, yeah, chart data. And if I save and let's take a look, if I refresh, and as you can see here we have the x and y, okay, it should be 1 here, so let's say 1, and let's see that again, there we go. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is let's install the package, the React Chart.js package. So here I'm going to copy this, all right, and open the terminal. Let's open another terminal and hit enter. Here it's going to be install the Chart.js and the React Chart.js version 2 here, or version 4.3.1. Okay, so let's close this, and now let's go back to the example here, and I'm going to use the area, so this one here. All right, so what we need to do is basically we can just copy paste all this, okay, so let's just copy this here, okay, so I'm gonna copy and paste that in here into the history chart. So let's do here, okay, basically I import the chart, category, scale, linear, point, linear title, the tooltip, color, and legend. Okay, we don't need this fake here. Okay, and down here as you can see we register the category, linear, point, etc. into the chart here. Okay, we register all the value here. Okay, so now what we need to do is in the return here I'm going to return line. So let's say line. Okay, so here I'm going to put the option set equals to options. So let's say options, wait, options, and then I want to put the data set equals to data. Okay, so the option here is basically all the information here. So I just want to set the responsive to true. So let's say here I'm going to remove this console and I want to say cons options set equals to I just want to say the responsive to true. Okay, and for the data, so let's say cons data set equals to object here, and what we need to do here is we are going to put the label. Okay, I just want to showing you here the label is basically the x-axis. For example, I'm gonna say 1 maybe and 2. Okay, and down here we need to set the data set here. So let's, this data set is basically array. So inside this array we have object. So here I'm gonna set the field to true. Okay, so field to true, and also the data. So the data I'm gonna put maybe 10 and 20, just for example. So let's say 20 with 20, and yeah, just that's it. So now if I save and let's take a look into the final project, as you can see, start from 1, and then as you can see the x is 1 and then 2, and the y is 10 and then 20. Okay, if you add another value you can do that here. So for example, it's going to be 20 and let's say 2, and also it's going to be 2, and let's say 2, and I'm going to do let's say 90, for example. So as you can see, the graph is going to be like this. Okay, we can also change the color of the graph here. So let's go to the documentation and we can grab the border color here. So let's say border color. Okay, so if I save and let's take a look, we have the border color here, and also we can also change the background color. So I want to use this color. Of course you can use any color you want. So let's put here the background color, and then here we go. Nice, right? So the undefined here is basically the label. Okay, so let's put label, and this label is basically the response.name. All right, so we can say response.name, and let's see, here we go. Wait, we still get undefined, I don't know why. So let's try to, I think this the ID, I think, yeah, it's come from ID. So let's say ID. There we go, we have Bitcoin here. But of course this data is not come from the API, so I'm going to showing the date here. So we need to use moment. So first I'm going to install moment.js. So let's go to moment, and I'm going to install that with yarn. So let's say yarn add moment. So let's add another terminal. I'm gonna say yarn add moment, and it's done. Cool, free, so really fast. And what I'm gonna do is, let's go back here. So in this label I'm gonna use the coin chart data, and I'm going to map through, and here I'm gonna grab the value, and then I'm gonna use moment here. So let's say moment, and then here I'm gonna grab the value .x. Okay, and I'm gonna say .format. Okay, the format is gonna be month, and also should be string. I'm gonna use month. Okay, and also day. All right, so if I save now, it should be showing all the date here. As you can see, start from 26 July and then now to Augustus. All right, so now let's put the data here. So I'm gonna say coin chart data, let's say .map. Okay, I'm gonna grab the value, and then in here I'm gonna return the value .y. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, guys, really cool. And as you can see, nice. If I click, the crypto update is not working yet. So let's go to navbar, and so in this div here I'm going to add on click. Let's say on click set equals to, should be a row function, and in here I'm going to basically I'm gonna import the navigate. So let's say cons navigate set equals to use navigate. Okay, it's come from React Router DOM. And now when I click the logo, I need to run the navigate into the forward slash. Okay, so now when I save, and let's go here, if I click the logo here, it's gonna be back to the trending and markets. Okay, I can click the moonbeam here, as you can see, nicely can go back. Really cool. So another thing that I'm going to do in here is basically the loading. So I'm going to add the loading skeleton in this trending and market, and also into the this one here, the detail. Okay, so yeah, let's create the loading skeleton. So first, let's create the component into the component folder here. I'm gonna give a name skeleton. So let's say skeleton.jsx. Okay, so let's say RIFCE, and in here I'm going to grab the class name props. Let's say class name. Okay, so in here I'm going to add the class name. Let's say animate pulse. Okay, so inside this div I'm going to add another div as well here, and let's put the class name, and in here I'm going to use backtick. Here we go. And inside in here I'm going to put the background to gray, let's say 300, and also the rounded I'm going to say medium, and also here I want to put the class name. Okay, so we can add any class name we want in this skeleton. Okay, so now let's go to the let's say trending first. This trending here, right? So here I'm going to check if the oh yeah, we can use loading, right? If the loading is true, so let's check this. If the loading is true, I want to return, so let's say div first, okay, because I need to wrap the skeleton inside the wrapper container. Okay, so here let's say class name, and then I'm gonna say wrapper container. So inside this div here I'm going to render the skeleton. Okay, so this skeleton we can add class name. So I want to say class name set equals to I'm gonna set the height into, let's say 8, and also the width I'm gonna set that to 32. Okay, so let's add couple skeleton here, and the height here, yeah, the width is gonna be full here, and also the margin top I'm gonna set that to 2. Okay, so let's duplicate this couple time, and now into the trending we should see the loading. So let's put through here so we can see. Not showing anything here. So let's see into the skeleton component. I think we have something wrong here. Yeah, the background. So here we go, as you can see. So of course we need to add the margin top. So let's do in this wrapper container, I'm gonna do margin top to 8. So let's say margin top to 8. Here we go. Nice, right? Let's say loading here. Okay, so now let's add loading into the market. So I think we can just copy this here. Okay, so let's go to markets, and in here we can do the same thing. Okay, so we grab the loading, and then so let's try to say true. Okay, we should, yeah, we need to import skeleton, of course. So here we go. So let's add couple skeleton here. So just paste that, and here we go. Okay, so let's put loading here. Okay, so now we have the loading. Okay, it's pretty fast. So now let's add loading into the HistoryChart and the CoinDetail. So let's go to the I think we can just copy this. Let's go to the HistoryChart here, and if the response is null, I can add the skeleton here. Okay, so let's make it like this. So what we need to do here is just render one skeleton. So let's do the height. I'm gonna set that to 72, and the width I'm gonna set that to full. Okay, so let's say full, and also the margin bottom I'm gonna set that to 10. All right, so let's try to see if I refresh. Yeah, we need to import the skeleton, of course. So yeah, as you can see right there, we have the skeleton, right? So now let's go with the CoinDetail. So let's go to the, where's my CoinDetail? Right here. Okay, so in here we can also return the skeleton. Okay, so of course we are going to remove this, and here I'm going to set the height to 72 and the width full, margin bottom, let's say margin bottom here to, let's say 10. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it. So if I refresh, it should be error because we don't yet import. So let's refresh. As you can see, it's pretty fast. We have the loading. All right, nice. Yeah, I think we're done with this project, but let's see the skeleton here. So let's say true. Okay, if I save, and as you can see here, we need to add the margin bottom. So let's do here, margin bottom set to 4, and here we go. Okay, it's perfect. So let's go to respawn again. Okay, nice. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. We are done with this project. I'm going to put all the link that we have into the description. So yeah, hopefully you learn new things from this video, and see you in the very next video, guys, and bye.